And welcome back to the excavation of the labyrinthine brain of the long-dead god who neither knew of nor cared for our existence. And welcome back to Devlog. I bet you thought that you had heard the last of me, but I have to talk about language coding. Oh baby, let's talk about language coding. It is very simple. First of all, what is language coding? When the player changes the option menu to change from one language to another, every instance of text in the game will switch to that language. You played video games. You are from Espanol. Why add this feature? I mean, obviously. This feature was surprisingly pretty easy to code. The first thing is the coding section, the second thing is the translation section, which is more complex, but the coding section is very, very simple. Essentially, I will have an object in the options menu called the language root. This controls every instance of language in a current scene, and the way this works is it will find every object in the scene which has the tag of language. This is objects that will have its language switched, but not the actual objects, because occasionally certain objects that will have their language switched will be disabled in a scene on load, such as the tutorial pop-ups or things of this nature, and then these instances, the language will not be actually changed when transitioning to a new screen because they won't actually be detected as having a new language. I could have these all manually translate themselves when opening, but that's tedious and I don't want to, and I'm not going to, and I don't want to, and I'm not going to. What I instead have is an object in each scene which is always active and has a reference to every single instance of language in this scene. I'll also attach these prefab objects such as the pause menu or the option menus to keep these consistent. What I do when I change a language is I find all of these language options, and then in these they will have a list of every single text or physical text object that needs changing in their language. They will then search through all these objects, they will change the index of the text to whatever the language translated is, so I have an array of texts assigned to all of these, the first being English, the second being French, the third being Italian, the fourth being German, the fifth being Spanish, the sixth being Japanese, the seventh being Russian. Why did I pick so many languages? Thought it'd be funny, if I'm being perfectly frank with you. And then it is a simple process of replace text with text of index of whatever our language is. Pretty simple. The complicated aspect of this is occasionally Pep-Pel will have a physical text object. These are the text objects that appear above the hub level, and some other places probably. I don't know. I haven't been paying attention really. What these have to do is, when the language of this object is changed, it will first of all get all of its text that it has made and completely destroy these. Because these are physical objects and cannot just be replaced in the text, they have to actually be destroyed. I will then just replace what the current value for this object's text should be, and then make it rewrite itself, which is just running the code to create the object of the text again. Pretty simple. There's basically two instances of text, and I just swap them one way or the other. One of these instances is more complicated than the other. Let us now talk about actual translation. How did my gargantuan brain translate my game into 7 different languages? Am I a genius savant who knows all of the human tongues? No, I just use Google Translate because Pep-Pel has like 5 spoken words of dialogue, so realistically it doesn't need to be accurate or complicated. Pep-Pel is a game by design that doesn't really have a lot of spoken text or even complicated text. Even the text in the options menu is pretty simple. There are 1 words and that's about it. So, realistically, even with Google Translate, I can't get this wrong, except I had. But for my experience, I think having Google Translate work on the game is better than not having any language options to begin with. I could have just put this game in English and nothing else. But I didn't. For you, the precious viewer. My thought is, if somebody from a language that isn't English is playing this game and has an interest in this game, having a garbled text translation saying press A to send is a bit better than having them try to figure out what press A to jump is in English when they don't speak English, especially if their language is something that doesn't easily translate over to English, such as French is kind of similar and you can get the gist, but something like Japanese is a lot different, and a player of that language would probably have a very difficult time understanding Pep-Pellington, even though it is a simple game for babbies. Also, and I can't stress this enough, I added extensive language options as a joke, because I thought it would be funny if this game I made by myself, for no reason, had a really big amount of languages that it could be played in. I originally wanted maybe more, but even for me, that's a bit much. But I feel like having all of these languages is, first of all, impressive. Let's all applaud me. Woohoo! Go me! I'm so smart. And secondly, is just nice for the game. I feel like the game has a more completed sense of state now that it has different language options. It feels like a proper little video game. Anyway, that's it for Devlog. Were you expecting an actual update? The game's done. What do I have left to say? Pep-Pel's dead. The game is finished, and I am only adding little minor things as I go. Nothing I have made in the past 2 months has been anything I can really show you, because I don't want to spoil the ending of my dumb little videos game. But the language setting was fun and interesting, and I wanted to talk about it. I wanted to make a devlog again. I miss you. Remember the weekly devlogs? Oh, what a time that was. Anyway, the next time I make a devlog is probably going to be when the game comes out. So, 2 months, baby.